Now is the time to step into the unknown. Question, what holds you back? You know, so think about that for yourself. What holds you back? Like, if you feel God is telling you to do something, what holds you back? If you feel you are supposed to be doing something right now in your life, what holds you back? If you feel like you are stuck where you are in your current position, what is it that holds you back? And so I went through the list and, you know, I started replying. The Lord gave me scripture to give to certain people. The Lord told me to tell this person this, tell this person that. And so as I'm doing it, you know, I'm seeing that fear. These are the answers that everyone had. The top answer of what holds people back: fear, self-doubt, fear of uncertainty, rejection, fear of the unknown, fear of succeeding, starting over, fear of failure, procrastination. If any of those are some of the things that hold you back, put some fire emojis. Doesn't need to say which one it is, but just to show people that they are not alone when it comes to this. And I think that that post really showed people who may feel like this fear is holding me back, that they are not alone when it comes to fear. Like, the amount of people who said that fear is the thing that holds them back, it was crazy to me. And so I looked it up, like the acronym of fear. The acronym means false evidence appearing real. So there's nothing true that's saying that this is real fear. There's nothing there saying that this fear is real, that this fear is there, that something will happen if you don't move into what God is telling you to do. You know, like, we allow fear to step in and stop us. Like, think about who you could be if fear did not stop you. Think about what you could step into, who you could become if you did not allow fear to step in and stop you. Like, the amount of people who mention fear. And, you know, there's two types of fear that I always say. There's that self-doubt. And I've dealt with this before in my past. Fire emojis. If you dealt with self-doubt, because I know I'm not the only one. I used to doubt myself. I used to say, well, you know, I can't do this. I'll never be able to do this. And even when it comes to God, why are you telling me to do this? God, why are you telling me to start this business? God, why are you telling me to leave and do this ministry? Like, why are you telling me to do this? I can't do this. It's just me. Like I said, fire emojis, if you were ever with God and you feel like God is telling you to do something, but then fear comes in and you start to doubt yourself and feel like you can't do it. I know I've been there. Even in the beginning, it was like, Lord, like, you want me to do what? You telling me to do what? You need me to do what? But that fear came in, and the first thing that happened is fear. So it makes you shrink back. We talk about shrinking back. Like, the fear comes in and makes you shrink back to say, I can't do this. I'll never be able to do this. I can't pass this test. I can't leave this. I can't leave this relationship. I mentioned a post earlier this week about a relationship. And we start to think that I won't be able to do it by myself. I won't be able to make it. But it's really about God putting that fear first and also saying the opposite. You know, fear and faith can't live together. The opposite is faith. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So you have to say, do I have enough faith to believe in myself? Do I have enough faith to believe God can do it? And, you know, today I put the post up where God really came in and provided for me back in 2016 when I mentioned, you know, him coming in and helping me out with school. Like, sometimes God will prepare you for where he's trying to take you. And he came in and someone just wrote a check for $2,000 and paid off my school. You know, so faith is a muscle. We have to be able to build it up. We have to build up our faith. It's a muscle. So with me, I've seen God do it in my life. And give me some examples. If you've seen God do it in your life, give me some examples. For everyone who's saying that fear holds them back, fear stops them, think of a time when God came through and provided in your life. Like, I just want to see some testimonies in the comments right now. And also to encourage other people, because we forget about the times that God came through for us. We forget about the times where he actually made a way out of no way. And for me, he brought that up to my memory today to think back, like, man, you really did come through and pay that off in a time that I could not finish school. Like, I needed someone to pay that $2,000 off so I could get my degree. So in those moments, we have to think back like, okay, if faith is a muscle that I have, if I want to get strong, if I want to lift weights and have muscles, I have to lift weights to do it. I have to test it out. I have to build up those muscles to get strong enough. That's faith. Faith is a muscle and we have to practice it. So my faith, he showed me in that moment that I'm here for you and I'm able to do things for you. But we have to have that faith. We have to say, God did it for me before, he can do it again. Definitely made a way out of no way. So Kayla, for you, if you know and you've seen him make a way out of no way, if he's calling you to do something, to us, we have to say, Lord, if you did this before, then I know and believe that you will do it again. I have faith to believe that you will do it again. Woke up, water was cut off for no reason. They said it wouldn't be on till after Christmas, but God saw otherwise. Exactly. So you've seen him do it. So we have to say, Lord, I know you've done this before. I trust and believe. I believe that you would do it. Running water minutes later. And I'm going to give you guys an example. Like, I have to use my faith muscles a lot. And it's usually in those moments where it does not make any sense, when he really is testing you. That test comes in the moments where it does not make sense. It's like, Lord, you're telling me to do this. This does not make sense. This does not make sense in the natural realm. Like, why are you telling me to do this? So I'm going to give you guys an example. When I first bought my house, I bought my house in March 2019. Bought my house, living in there with my fiance. The Lord tells me in November, leave your relationship. Mind you, I just bought a house. I have a mortgage. I have bills. I have a 5-year-old. I have a son. It does not make sense that I am leaving this relationship when I need to pay for my house. Like, I just bought a house. I'm at risk of losing it if I'm only having one income in this house. But the Lord was testing my faith to see if I would trust him. And that's the key word, trust. Do we trust him in those moments when he tests us? Do we trust him and believe that he will provide, that he will be there? And I'm going to tell you guys, I was scared. I was nervous. Lord, I don't really know. You're telling me to do this. You're telling me to leave. You're telling me to, like, how am I supposed to pay this mortgage? How am I supposed to pay my water? How am I supposed to pay all of this? And you telling me to leave this relationship when I have a 2-income household, and you're dropping it down to 1 and telling me that I need to do it. But at the end of the day, there was a bigger plan. He needed me to focus on him. He needed me to get me alone so that I didn't have any distractions, so that I wasn't unfocused, so I could focus on him so he can get me to where he needed me to be. And so in that moment, it got to a point where God put a time clock on me and told me, you need to do it right now, or you stay right there. And I feel like this part is for someone where we're in a season where God is about to shift. He is about to shift us. He is about to shift things. He is about to put us in position. And we are in a place, we are not in a place where we can just sit and just say, Lord, I'm nervous. I'm going to allow fear to come in and leave me here. You have to step over that fear, because I know a shift is coming in the next couple of weeks. In February, he is moving things. He is shifting things. He is getting people in position. And if we want to hold on to old dead relationships, then we're going to stay in those old dead relationships. If we want to hold on to old dead jobs that he's trying to move us out of, then we're going to stay in that place. If we're going to hold on to all of these things that we know he's calling us out of it, it is not serving us. We do not need to be there. He wants us to do more and do bigger. Like, we have to be able to move and shift with him. And so for me, I got to a point where I left the relationship. Totally left faith. That is a faith muscle. I'm building up my faith muscles. I'm trusting and believing that in this moment where I'm in this wilderness season, I'm in this season of isolation, where I am separated from everything and everyone that I know, that God is about to come in and provide for me. Like, that is faith. And so in that moment, I mean, I had to deal with it. I had to sit there. It was a few months of me where it's just like, Lord, okay, Lord, like, I'm getting ready to go on my savings. I'm getting ready, like, what's happening, Lord? But right at the end, right when I was about to get to the point where my money was getting a little funny, a little crazy, right when I was getting to that point, he opened up a position. He opened up promotion. He opened up increase for me, because I was able to sit with him and trust him in that moment where he was telling me to lean on him and not my own understanding. And where it did not make sense that I just bought a house. It did not make sense that I could lose my house. It did not make sense that I could lose my car, but I had to trust him. And that's where we are right now when I talk about this prophetic word. He's saying that he needs us to trust him. He's saying that he needs us to lean on him, that he will be there, that he will provide. But he wants to test us to see if we trust him, if our faith is high enough, and if we believe that he will do it. You know, so I've been in plenty of seasons where I had to take a leap of faith and really just trust in the Lord to say, okay, Lord, I'm in one right now. I'm in my job where I make 6 figures in my job, but the Lord is telling me, I'm squeezing you out of this job. I need you to trust in me. I was so stuck on my title and everything that I had, but he's like, no, I need you to trust me. And so for you, it could be him telling you to come out of a relationship. It could be him telling you this is not the relationship. And I know I made a post the other day about women, you know, distractions were coming to get women off track from where God wanted to have them. Like, God is trying to move you into a place where he needs you alone. He's trying to move you into a place where he wants you to focus on him and depend on him and lean on him and learn and grow and get in your word and all of this. But people are so focused on the relationship that it's probably toxic anyway, that God is probably calling you out of. And these distractions are coming in to throw you off track, to keep you off course of where God is trying to take you. And so a lot of women are there right now. He showed me that the other day, that women are stuck in these places that he is calling you out of. But you want to hold on to what you are so scared of the unknown. You're so scared that you're going to be by yourself forever. You're so scared that you will never find anyone that will love you. You're so scared of all of these things. But God is saying, I have more. I have better for you. I let go of it, and he opened up and gave me a better job. I let go of it, and I know he's about to open up and give me, like, the bigger the test, the bigger the leap, the more powerful, the stronger it is when God is about to come through, you know? Like, that's what I look at it. The bigger leap I take, the bigger the promotion is that God is about to give me. That, like, honestly, if I could put it in any way. So for me to leave this job, I know God is about to show up and show out, and I'm going to give him all the glory. So we have to think of it that way, where God is telling you to leap, where God is telling you, I'm telling you to leave this, he's going to come and give you more. And he also is bringing to my memory Abraham. You know, we have to be like Abraham. Abraham in the Bible, faith. He is faith. If you think of faith, if you look faith up, it's Abraham. Like, God told Abraham to go and leave to a place where I will show you. And he left. I feel like he's telling me to look it up right now. He told Abraham to go, and he left. I know it's Genesis 12. But with Abraham, even with Abraham, now the Lord has said to Abram, get out of your country, from your family, and from your father's house, to a land that I will show you. I will make you a great nation. I will bless you. He's giving Abraham the promises. He's telling Abraham what he's about to do, just like he tells us. I want you to be this prophet. I'm going to give you this house. I'm going to make sure you are known. I'm going to increase you. Like he gives us. We know the promises that he speaks. But it's all about obedience, and will we be obedient in order for it to happen? A lot of people are sitting and expecting God to do great things in their life, but it's like, are you obedient? Are you doing what you're supposed to do to get these promises? Like, most people are like, I'm waiting on God. But God is sitting there like, are you even obedient? Are you following my word? Are you doing what I asked you to do? I will bless you and make your name great, and you shall be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and I will curse him who curses you. And in you, all the families of the earth shall be blessed. And this is Genesis 12 and 1 through 4. And right after that, if we look at this scripture, as soon as God gave him the promise, it says, so Abram departed as the Lord has spoken. There was no question. He heard it. He heard what God said. He knew what God was doing. He heard the promises and what God was going to do in his life. So Abram departed as the Lord has spoken to him. There was no question. And so we get so wrapped up in fear. Lord, what if I do this? What if this happens? For me, God just told me to do something recently. A group of ladies that we're about to do something. I questioned it at first, but then I went to the Lord in prayer and I said, Lord, I need you to confirm this. And I heard Gideon. Look up Gideon. And I asked God to confirm it. And he sent me right to scripture that said, have I not sent you? Basically saying, girl, I just told you to do it. Go do it. Like, why are you coming back and asking me? So it's like, let me go. Let me move. I know God has confirmed it and he told me to do it. But sometimes we get so stuck in fear. You know, fear keeps us stuck and it keeps us where we are. And I don't want anybody to miss out on what God is doing right now. I feel this right now because I know God is about to show up and show out. And if we allow fear to stop us, we're going to be right in the same place, right in the same position where we look up and we're like, man, years are going by and nothing is happening. Nothing is changing in my life. I feel like I'm not moving around. But it's like, you know, I see Katrina. Yes, it does. You're like, we feel stuck in that place, but it's like, are we doing what God is telling us to do? And sometimes some people may say, I don't really hear God. I don't know God. But also it goes back. Abraham had a relationship with God. Abraham was close to God. Abraham built the altar. It's our relationship with God. So we can't say, I don't know what God is saying if we are not spending enough time in his presence. I'm telling y'all, I feel this because I know this is the Lord speaking through me, saying what he's trying to get to his people. So if you feel this is for you, share it because I like, he is moving right now. I see it. It's people moving. It's changing. It's healing. People are going through inner healing, deliverance, really stepping into what God is telling them to do it. And I see it all around. But I don't want anybody to be left behind because fear is stopping them from getting where God is trying to take them. It's all about obedience. Being obedient what God is saying. God is saying move, you move. God is saying leave, you leave. God is telling you go to a place where I will show you. I'm going to go to a place where he will show me. You know, and even for that, I hear him saying to go a little bit more into it. Even if we go into Genesis 13, then Abram moved his tent and went. He went, like he moved, he went. He as soon as God told him to move his tent and to go somewhere else, he went, he left. he moved. You know, for me, it's like, okay, I'm at a point now where I've seen you do enough in my life, Lord, that I believe. And for you guys, like, how many times has God done it? You have to just remember the things that he has done, the things that he has already done in the past. Look at his track record of all the things that he has made a way out of no way for you, and build up your faith muscles. Believe that he will catch you when you jump, when you take a leap. Like, for me, it's insane that I will leave a 6-figure job in the middle of a pandemic where 900,000 people are on unemployment. It is insane. It does not make sense. But for me, I trust God. I believe God is going to be right there for me. I don't have any worries. I have so much peace with my decision because I trust and believe that he will be there for me. And that's how our faith would need to be. For me, if I relate to anybody in the Bible, it's Abraham. I am female Abraham. God tell me to go do this. I'm right. Where, Lord? Where we going? That's how we have to be. We have to be like that and move when we feel that God is telling us it's time. We have to go. I feel like he's telling me to go a little deeper. If we go to Genesis 15:6, and this is when he was talking to him, he said, and he believed in the Lord, and he accounted to him his righteousness. Like, Abraham in that moment believed. Like, we talk about belief, and I'm big on faith. I'm big. I had to quit my job. You know, like, for me, it wasn't that I had to quit. It was that he was squeezing me out of my job. Like, I would get up crying like, oh, Lord, I can't even do this anymore. Like, he literally squeezed me out of that position. I get to a point where he was like, you leap, or I don't know what would have happened. Like, if you don't move, you make yourself get pruned, and it's more uncomfortable than you moving when he's telling you to move. Like, it was an uncomfortable feeling in that. Like, I didn't like it at all. He was literally squeezing me like a tube of toothpaste. Like, okay, it's time to go. It's time to go. So, like, for you guys, I made a post about the women leaving a relationship where everybody is sad about it, but you don't know what's on the other side of it. Like, you have no idea. And if God were to give us all the plans that he has for our life, we wouldn't be able to take it. We wouldn't be able, like, he's going to give you little pieces. He gives you pieces of it because you wouldn't be able to take every single thing that he wants to show you, every single thing that he wants to give you. But sometimes we get scared. That fear steps in, and it's like, well, Lord, I don't know if you're going to do it. But at the end of the day, we have to believe and have faith and really think back and say, well, you know, Lord, you turned my water on out of nowhere. And no, you're like, it didn't make sense, and you did this for me, Lord. Yes, this is the verse which brought me to China when I had my calling to go there in 2012, and I left my nursing. Exactly. Like, I'm telling you, like, all you guys have to do is have that relationship with God. For people who say that they don't hear him, the very first way that I was able to hear the Lord was in his word. It was reading the Bible. I wasn't prophetic. I didn't hear the Lord. I didn't have my visions and all of that yet. None of that happened. It was me reading the word. It was me going in the word and him highlighting and pointing everything out to me and showing me in his word. And even if we go back to Abraham, like, the fact that he told him to sacrifice his only son, the belief and faith that he had to believe that he would bring his son from the dead, like that is faith. If you, like, that is the faith that we need to have. Like, I want to be known for believing in God, for going with him, for just going wherever he is taking me and allowing him to use me for his glory, like, to be a billboard. Like, God did this in my life. Like, and I want that for you guys. Like, I want you guys to be able to say the same thing. I trusted God. God told me to do this, and being a billboard for him, walking around a witness for him to say, God told me to leave this, and I left, and he did this. God told me to leave my relationship, and I found my husband a year later, and we're married. Like, that's what God wants to do. He's not going to have you leave something to make it worse. It's going to always be better. I left my job, and he gave me a better job. I know he didn't give me a job, but I know he's going to give me a thriving business, but I left my job for a thriving business. I left my relationship, but he's going to give me a better, like, all of it. He's not going to have you. It may be temporary, uncomfortable for a while. You may not have everything that you need. He may put you in that space where he needs to test you, train you, you know, all of that. But it's temporary, because then he's going to elevate you. He's going to elevate you from where you are right now. And every step, it's a new elevation. You go through it. He tests you. It's like you going to the next grade. If you were in high school, you're in 9th grade. He tests you. You either pass the test or you fail. You either move and pass to that 10th grade level, or you don't move and you stay in 9th grade. Do you want to stay there, or do you want to continue to get elevated? Because for me, I want to get everything that God has for me. I want to be a light and just show up. Like, I talk about God because it's just like, it's who I am. because it's like, God has been so good to me. He's been so great. He's done so much in my life. Like, this is just who I am. This is just me. This is me. I talk about him so much because my life is because of him. The life that I live is because of him. The way that I'm able to help women is because of him. To not deal with anxiety and depression, to be supernaturally healed of it, is because of him. And we have to remember that he elevates us when we are obedient. He elevates us as we move, and we have that faith to believe in him. So for me, yes, elevate me. So yeah, Pamela, like for you, it's like, it's having that mindset like, Lord, I trust you. I believe you. Doesn't make sense, but I believe you. Doesn't make sense to do this, but I believe you. Okay, Lord, I know you confirmed it. You told me to do it. I believe you. And really, it's like, to me, it's like I back God into a corner. God tells me to do it. Okay, Lord, now it's on you. Like, I did what you told me to do. Now it's your turn to move, Lord, because it's like we go back and forth. You told me to do this. Okay, I'm going to do everything I did. I'm going to finish the project. I'm going to finish the work. I'm going to finish everything that you told me. You told me to leave and all of this. I'm going to finish it. I'm going to do it because then it's on him. It's on him to show up. It's on him to say, you know what? I told her I was going to do it. Now I'm showing up. And then when he shows up, he's going to show out. You know, so we have to think of it that way. You could definitely see him in you. I just came out of prayer too, y'all. Like, I was in prayer right before this video. So, but thank you. Like, that's my thing. It's like, I'm just here to be a light. And I'm going for whatever he tells me to do. I definitely feel a shift. I definitely feel like he's moving some things. He's putting people into position. He had me write something down. But I didn't even go off my notes. But I'm going to look and see what he had me to write. The other one, oh yeah, self-conscious. He had me write in capital letters, do what I am telling you and watch me blow your mind. Like, this is part of it. Like, if we go into the prophetic side, it was him saying, do what I told you to do and watch me blow your mind. Like, it's going there. It's obeying him. It's believing him. It's trusting him. Do it. If you know God is telling you to do something, do it. And do it quick. I'm going to put it out there. Do it quick. If you know God told you to, you drink, and you feel God is telling you to stop drinking, stop drinking. You feel like God told you to leave a relationship. Because there's better on the other side. You know, faith is the substance of things, you know, like we see it. We get stuck in what we can see. We have to be able to see what God sees and where he's trying to take us. But all we can see is this. We get stuck in what we see right now, the here and the now. If I was stuck in the here and the now, I would have never been promoted to my job that I had. I would have been just like, imagine if I never took that leap of faith when he told me to leave my relationship. I would have stayed right there. I would have never been promoted into that new position. I would have never increased my income. I would have never been to the point where I am right now for him to say, I want you to be a full-time entrepreneur, because I would have kept myself in that box because I didn't take a leap when he was telling me. I would have missed out. Granted, he may have came back around and said, okay, let's try this again. Just like if you fail a test in class, the teacher may say, okay, let's try this again. You know, you want to do a retake? Granted, that could have happened. But I would have missed out on this timing where he wanted to use me right now. He wants to use me now. He has me doing everything that I'm doing. I could have missed out on this. So it's that kind of mindset of, I feel God is calling. I feel like he's telling me. I feel like this is what I'm supposed to do. Let me get in the Bible. Let me read it. Let me confirm it. Let me talk to God and say, Lord, is this what you're telling me to do? When he confirms it, he may send someone your way to speak into you and say, didn't God tell, like, do you think you should write a book? Like, God may be telling you to write a book. I hear book right now. God, I don't know who this is for. God may be telling you to write a book and you are nervous. You're scared. I don't know what people are going to think about me. I don't want to put my story out there. I don't want people to know that I went through this. I don't know that people to know that I had a drinking problem, that I used to smoke, that I used to do all of this. But your story is going to help the next woman. That woman who is looking for you, she needs it. You know, I had someone tell me the other day, I was scrolling on Facebook, and this is how she was talking about me, how I met you. I saw you and I saw myself. I heard you and I heard myself. And she said, that was when I noticed that you were someone that God put into my life. She's like, I never watched Facebook Live videos or anything like that, but God told me to stop on that video because I saw myself. And that's what we are doing this for. Like, when you feel that tug, when you feel like God is telling you it is time, you are there. He needs to use you to help that next person. You know, there's women who tell me it all the time. I see myself in you. Thank you for helping me. I changed my life when you did your Build Your Relationship with God challenge. Like, it shifted everything. Now I know how to get close to God. For you guys who may need to write a book, like, your book is going to change their lives. Your book is what's going to help them heal. They're going to read it and they're going to feel like they're not alone. They're going to read it and feel like, oh, somebody understands me. When the enemy is in their mind all the time saying, you're by yourself, isolated. Nobody cares about you. Nobody loves you. But your book could be that thing that they pick up, that God puts in front of them, that makes them realize that they are not alone and that they're not the only person that goes through the things that happen. Like, I really feel this book right now, whoever this is, I'm pretty sure it's, somebody may watch it later. But that book, that story, that testimony, what happened in your life is used to help the next woman. Don't think of it as this happened to me and you can't overcome it, you can't get past it. Like, that is what will help the next woman get through. And so for me, I don't have a problem telling my story. I don't have a problem telling my testimony, because I know every time I tell it, there's a new group of women that's coming in, hearing it, and believing that God can do what he's doing in my life and their life. So I will continue to tell it. My phone going crazy. I will continue to tell it because I know that it's helping other women. God bless you. It's not about us. We are exactly. And I see it's vibrating. Sorry, guys. It's not about us. We have to remember. We put it in our head. Oh, this and this and this is that. Like, it's not about us. It's about that next woman, that next lady, that next girl, that next person that you can help. It's me, the book part. Riri. Oh, you are writing a book, Riri. You are. You did mention that to me a while ago. And you did say you didn't want to put all your information in the book. That's for you, Riri. I don't know what I just said. Didn't want to put it out and didn't want to tell people. But just think about, I know you haven't told me a lot, Riri. Like, I know you're kind of private and you don't really like to tell too much, but from what I know, your story, your book, a lot of women go through it. A lot of women need to heal from it. A lot of women will read your book, read your story, get to know you. Like, I see you like a closed book. Like, you don't really want to let people in. You don't really want to let people know too much. But I'm telling you, like, when you open up, like, for me, when I told my testimony, that's when women were like, wow. Like, that's when women were like, I see myself. You can help me. Can you help me? But for you, Riri, I see you really closed off a lot of the time. But I feel like as you write your book, and I don't know if you even started it yet, but as you write your book, you're going to be healed. As you write your book, you're going to address those areas in your past that have been locked up and just with a key on it, locked down. Like, all of that is going to flow. But I feel like your book is what's going to allow you to heal and really overcome the things that the enemy is throwing at you to keep you like in this box or in this corner. Distraction. Oh yeah, my phone. I know, always. 2 books, and I met a lady who was going to help me start the book. It's a web seminar. So yes, is it the outline? I sent that to a couple of ladies. Is this the outline to outline your book in 3 days? If so, I know that one, and I've been sending it to people. So that's your healing. Like, I really feel that. And I forgot you did mention about a book, Riri. And you were on earlier. I feel this. I keep hearing to start this spiritual group, these women at my job, but I haven't. All day it's like I've heard from different sources to do it. God, if he can't get it to you, through you, he will send other people to tell you. For me, sometimes it's like a lot is going on. Like, I would have work, I would have business, I would have my son, I would have all of this. But he will send someone else to say, hey, did you do this? And I'm just like, well, thank you, Lord, because I know I didn't do it, but now you send someone else my way to tell me. So, and I know, Katrina, you've been talking about this group for a while. And I'm going to tell you, everything that I do now started with a Facebook group. Like, if God is telling you to start the group, that's because he's wanting you to gather. He's wanting you to put people together. Every single thing that I'm doing was a Facebook group that I launched right at the beginning of the pandemic. So if you feel like it and he's sending people your way to confirm it, do it. What's the harm? What holds you back, Katrina? I'm curious. Is it just fear that no one will show up? No one will be interested? Because if God is behind it, the people are going to come. Like, for me, I can't even keep up sometimes because the people come and it's like, I'm trying to keep up. So just know, if God is behind it, it will take off. Trust me. I've started mine, just having problems finishing it. The book. Oh, well, I mean, if you're having problems finishing it, it probably, one thing that he always mentions when I'm doing like prophetic consultations with people is that he has people start at the most difficult chapter in the book. Like, every time I'm doing a prophetic consultation and a book comes up, he will have them address that difficult part, that part that they don't want to write about. Like, that will be the start, and he always leads them to that one part of the book that they don't really want to write about, and then everything else kind of flows from it, and they piece everything together. So, I don't know if that will help, but I know that when I do those consultations, it always helps. right? And let God use you. Release and allow him to work through you. Exactly. So, you know, it's all about being obedient. I feel like right now it's about obedience. There's a lot of people who are allowing fear and also self-conscious. Like, that's another one. It's like, we don't believe it. Like, self-doubt is us doubting ourselves, but then we worry too much about what other people will think. What will they say about this if I write this book? What will they say if I start talking about God on my page? What will they say if I do this? Who cares? Like, for me, I don't care. We can't let that self-conscious thought, and you know, I used to deal with social anxiety. I couldn't even go. Like, I would be so awkward in social situations. Like, it was really bad, but it was the enemy making me overthink everything. I was in my mind thinking about everything before it even happened. Like, fear. But I had to really go to God and allow him to come in and just do a lot of, I had to go through a lot of work. It was a lot of work on me. I'm not going to lie to you guys and say that it was just instant, because he had to really break me down to build me back up. Like, I had to, my foundation, all of it had to be broken down, and that's where we are sometimes. Sometimes we have to allow him to come in and wreck us, wreck all of it, to build us back up and make us stronger and make us bolder and have more courage and strength. So we just have to allow him to come in like that wrecking ball and wreck it. We want to hold on. We don't want that to happen. We don't want that. We don't want to feel the pain. We don't want to feel the hurt. We don't want to go through all of it. Like, we have to allow that. Like, we gotta get all of that off of us in order for him to build us back up into who he called us and created us to be. Fear not, the Lord is with you. Exactly. I have a fear of failure. I don't want to not succeed. And it's like, God chose me, and sometimes, not always, I feel maybe I'm not worthy. Yes, I know it's the devil, but I'm so controlled with my emotions. I need to let go and believe. Yeah, so we know the devil's going to come in and make you, he's going to get in your head. He's just going to get in there and say, who do you think you are? God didn't tell you to do this. This will never work. Like, we have to be able to take every thought captive. Like, as soon as the enemy tries to come our way, nope, God told me to do this. God told me to do this. I know God told me to do this. Nope. I don't have time for it. We have to take those thoughts as soon as he tries to come in. And knowing that, you know, I even saw you as being prophetic at one point. I remember, like, knowing that God has called you, knowing that he wants to use you, knowing that he chose you. Like, it still blows my mind sometimes, y'all. Like, seriously, like, I think about what God is doing, and I'm just like, so that doesn't really go away, because I still think sometimes, like, wow, like, you really chose me. Like, out of all people, like, out of all people, you know. So just know, like, it is that thought, like, you chose me, but just knowing and really standing on it and stepping into it. Like, I have stepped into it. Like, you have to step into it, Katrina. You can't shrink back. You have to say, God told me to do this. Let me start this group, and see yourself as a leader. That's the thing. I don't know if you don't see yourself as a leader, but seeing yourself as a leader, stepping into that leadership position to lead that group, to lead these women, because you have a lot of life experiences. You're married. You've gone through things in your life. You can help a lot of women, which is why he's probably having you lead this group, because you can come in and tell them, this is what I've gone through. Let me help you. That's what it's all about. You know, you are there to be a light and to lead women who may be in a point where they just need to be heard. They just need someone to help them and lead them and guide them. Yep, I remember this. My bishop confirmed. So don't let it, like I said, it's faith. Like, you know, I had a conversation with another lady this weekend where it was about, you know, God was showing me all of these things and how she was stuck in place. And like, in my vision, she was stuck. Everybody else was moving. Everybody else was going. Everybody else was shifting and changing, but she was just stuck. She couldn't move. She was stuck right there. And God has been telling her, let's go, let's move, let's go. But sometimes we get stuck. Sometimes we don't move. When God is pushing us and telling us, let's get going. I need you to stay here. Like, I need you to stay on track. Like, let's keep this on schedule. But we get stuck. We stay stagnant. We allow distractions and procrastination to come in and throw us off track. Like, when God is saying, let's go, it's time to go. So I really feel like that's for someone too. Yeah, self-doubt is a big one for me. Self-doubt is a big one. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I dealt with self-doubt was a lot. Like, I dealt with that a lot. Not so much now, but in the beginning, self-doubt would always creep in. But I also had to, like I just mentioned, like before this, I was in prayer. I am like always in prayer, because